So that was the most, I mean, it was strange because I'd never had a #1 in the States. So it was a little odd to do it that way, you know, but...
At Joe Cocker, many young people discovered you through your last album, Unchain My Heart. But before we talk about your new album, I'd like you to tell us about your legend, which is part of the great legend of rock and roll. You okay?
Yes, man, I'm fine. I don't know, it's very hard to summarize your life in you know, a few minutes.
Let's try. It all began in Sheffield,
Yeah.
where you were a plumber.
Right, gas fitter.
Gas, you worked for the gas company.
Right.
Huh?
That's it.
And how did you get in touch with rock and roll?
Well, at that time, there was like in Sheffield, there was quite a big pub scene. You know, we used to play the pubs regularly, you know, just for enough money to, you know, to have a few drinks and just have fun. But I mean, it was like an ambition. I just wanted to make records. And then in '63, I put a record out. I had like a one-deal record contract with Decca of a Beatle cover called I'll Cry Instead.
Yeah, nobody knows that because everybody thinks that your first disc record was with a little help from my friends. And it was I'll Cry Instead.
Right, so it was 5 years later. I mean, I finally got a deal.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was, you know, I had the one record that didn't do well, and then like my father said, you know, go back to doing a job.
And the record in Margarine with Jimmy Page and Next Yardbirds. No, it was successful, this one?
It just sort of scraped in the top 50 in England, but it was something. We knew we'd got to start.
Yeah.
And then we recorded With a Little Help.
Yeah,
and
because you made a festival at Sunbury Festival.
Very true.
And you sang With a Little Help from My Friends, and it was very successful, and you recorded it, and it rocketed up to the top of the charts, no?
That's right, it was a #1 in England anyway. Did very well.
Yeah, it was a cover. You did many covers in your life, no?
Right, that's true.
You are not a songwriter, you think?
I've tried, and I still keep trying, you know.
Yeah.
I got one new one on the album, but it's, I don't know, I've always been able to sort of rearrange other people's stuff.
Yeah.
And
You prefer that?
I don't necessarily prefer, you know, but I mean, I've had more success doing that.
In 1969, you made another very, very famous concert. It was Woodstock, no?
Yes, that seems to stick in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
You know.
What is your best memory of Woodstock?
Just the, you know, flying over it in a helicopter and looking down at sort of the biggest crowd I've ever seen and since. Yeah.
Then you met Leon Russell and you decided to make Mad Dog and Englishmen.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was just, as I said, I had the band, the Grease Band, and I felt like musically we'd done all we could with it.
Yeah.
But then that was pretty exhausting.
Mad Dog and Englishmen was something very famous and very strange. It was 40 people together for 40 days.
I'm going to say, I don't think anything like it's ever been done.
Yeah.
We had dogs on the stage and children. Yeah.
Taking a lot of drugs too, no?
Not the children, but...
Not the children, not the dogs,
no.
but
I mean, I think, they were heavy sort of times.
Heavy? People say that time that Leon Russell manipulated you. Do you think it's true?
I know, I've often, you know, people did say that about Leon. And I think there was a bit of ego, you know, sort of going on there. But, you know, I just took it as part of the game, you know.
You met him again after?
He still tours every now and then in the States, but not on a big scale, you know, and I've not seen him for about 10 years maybe now.
In 1972, you went back to Sheffield because maybe you took too much drug. You wanted to see your country, your mother again, and you worked again with Chris Stainton then, you know?
Well, I did actually. That's just about when we parted. We put that last tour together with the Chris Stainton All Stars, and then you know, again I don't know what happened. I made a lot of money, and then I ended up giving it to managers. And
you were obliged to give half of your money to your manager, no?
Yeah, I was just screwed up at the time.
It's a lot of money. It was about 1 billion centimes. It's a lot of money.
But easy come, easy go.
But why were you obliged to give him so much money?
I was in a pretty bad state. I'd been taking...
You wanted to make the problem solved and then to be just free to take drugs.
Yes, I never really thought, you know, about the consequences.
Your girlfriend left you at that time, no?
Yeah.
You've been with her until you...
That's right, she was like 13. A childhood sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know a lot about me, I tell you, really. So I
No,
mean,
but you're a star, you know. We know everything about stars.
so that's true. I mean, you know, I haven't seen Eileen either for many years now. Yeah.
Then you went to New York, and you left heroin, but you began to drink a lot, no?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know which is the worst of the two evils, really. I still like a drink, though, once in a while, but, I mean, not to the extent. I mean, you know, if you've ever seen people get in that state where you just, I mean, it's, you know, your whole life depends on booze, and it's not, you know, it's not a fun place to be.
But you said yourself that at this time in New York you behaved like a tramp, is it true?
I'm afraid so, just about. They just sleep, crashing on sofas everywhere, you know. It's not a good life in the end. It wears you out, you know.
What was the worst moment of this period?
I remember a guy telling me how bad I'd been on stage one night.
Yeah.
And I refused to believe it. And then he played me a tape, and it was so bad that I woke up and thought, I can't do this anymore. You know?
When you came to France in Castellet, in 1976, you were not able even to sing on stage, I remember.
God, well, I'm sorry about those days, but
we love you.
I hope they don't happen again.
We forgive you because we love you.
Hey,
then Jane Fonda helped you a lot in 1980. She gave you a house in Los Angeles. No?
That's right, yeah. Which is where I met my wife.
Yeah.
You know, my current wife, well, my only wife.
In 1982, you made a record with Chris Blackwell, which is one of your best records. It was called Sheffield Steel.
Yeah, very strange record. I was grateful because I'd done one album before that called Luxury Can Afford. Didn't do too well. And so it was, you know, Island Records. And it was pretty much Chris's sort of idea to get Wally Badarou and, you know, and
Robbie Shakespeare, Slade & Barr, Robert Palmer.
So it's a bit of a sort of a cult kind of record, I find that, because it didn't do well, particularly sales-wise around the world. But it's sort of...
It's very well known, good fame,
Yeah.
And then there was a miracle again. You did his duet.
Yes.
He became #1. It was the soundtrack of Officer and Gentleman, no?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
So that was the most, I mean, it was strange because I'd never had a #1 in the States. So it was a little odd to do it that way, you know, but...
It wasn't good for the rock and roll fame.
Yeah, I'm going to say the kind of people who come to the shows are not the same who like to hit, you know, that stuff.
And then Unchain My Heart in 1987. It's a lot of success. How many albums did you sell until now?
Actually, that album, we've done about 2 million worldwide, close to, which is all right, you know, for a 45-year-old
You're
guy.
okay.
That's the best.
And your new album, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, One Night of Sin.
Yeah.
Which is the tune, I don't know if you remember the Elvis Presley tune, One Night.
Yeah.
One night with you. It's the same tune, but it's the original lyric. A guy called Smiley Lewis, a blues man from, I forget, Chicago, wrote. And so it's a little different interpretation. Apparently Elvis couldn't do the original words. They thought it would be bad for his image at the time. You know,
Yeah.
so. And I've done a cover, as you say, you know, I did revamps or whatever, a version of Fever, you know. And of course the song I'm doing today of Bryan Adams, When the Night Comes. And Brian's in the video. He came and played on the session. He's a nice kid.
What musicians with you on his album?
Very close to the last album with T.M. Stevens, Phil Grande on guitar. But Chris Stainton's back with me on this record.
Chris Stainton,
yes,
still there.
Well, back again, because he was working with Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
And then he was doing some musical thing. So it's, you know, I hope you like it anyway.
We like it. We've got the tapes already.
Okay.
Et pour être sûr de ne rien rater de Inarditube, abonnez-vous et mettez un pouce bleu.